It's Thursday in Simpsonville, South Carolina, and it's cold. It's midday or later, and it's down in the low 30s, and although the sun is out, the wind is really blowing, so the wind chill is quite cold. There's no question about it. It's cold out there. What do you see? I heard a story about a man that was walking up to a mental institution, and out in front of the mental institution was a large rock garden. Now, understand there was no fountains and no water in it, but one of the people that were being housed in the mental institution was out there with a fishing pole, and he was casting into the garden and then reeling in his line, and then casting into the garden and reeling in his line. The man, wanting to try to humor him, went up to him and said, "What have you caught?" The fella says, "You're the third." Well, what do you see when you see something? I think about Luke chapter 5, verses 1 through 11. And it's the scene at the Sea of Galilee. Jesus has received quite a bit of notoriety by now, and he's drawn large crowds. He sees the large crowd, and they're pressing in on him, and he sees some boats. But more than that, he sees some men. They're washing out their nets. What does he see in verse 3? He sees an opportunity. So he gets into one of the boats and begins to teach where the crowds can't press out into the water, and he has the room in order to teach. And when he is finished teaching, he sees another opportunity. And he asks Peter to launch out. Peter's a little reluctant, but he goes ahead and launches out, and then Jesus says, "Let down your nets." And Peter's very hesitant now. He says, "We fished all night, we caught nothing." Jesus said, "Let down your nets." In the following verses 4 through 7, there's a great catch of fish. Now, it's interesting what Jesus saw. Jesus saw boats. He saw men. He saw an opportunity. Saw an opportunity to teach, and he also saw an opportunity on one-on-one with Peter. What did Peter see? Peter saw dirty nets. Peter saw a boat that was put into service for something other than fishing. Peter saw an unexplainable catch of fish. Then Peter saw Jesus. Peter, after seeing Jesus, saw his own sin. And when he saw his own sin, he fell at the feet of Jesus. And then Jesus showed him service. He said, "From now on, you'll be catching men." Interesting, isn't it, how different the two saw the scene? Jesus saw boats, but he saw men, and he saw opportunity. Peter saw an unreasonable request, an unexplainable catch, and then he saw his sin as he looked at the Savior. And then he saw service. What became of that? Well, if you read over in Acts chapter 2, verses 14 through 41, 3,000 were saved. Peter was catching men. What do you see? Do you see a car? Do you see inconvenience? Do you see a church? Do you see social events? Or do you see service? Do you see being a part of what will save mankind? Do you see your service? That's your thought for the day. God bless you. Have a great day.